The desert sun was sinking into a haze of orange fire when the chaos began. Dust swirled violently in the air, engines screamed like wild animals, and the ground trembled beneath the weight of roaring machines. At the center of it all stood the legendary custom bike, a beast forged from steel, rage, and reputation. Every rider who attempted to tame it ended up thrown, dragged, or left breathless in the dirt. That bike wasn't just powerful, it was vicious, unpredictable, almost alive. The crowd of hardened bikers circled around it like spectators at a gladiator pit, betting who'd survive the longest. Nobody had lasted longer than 8 seconds. And then, through the haze of smoke and shouting, rolled an old wheelchair pushed by weathered arms, slowly, steadily, silently. A man whose legs no longer served him, whose past bore scars deeper than the dust and metal surrounding him. A man many believed had nothing left to prove. Yet the moment he arrived, the entire yard fell into a heavy, breath-holding quiet. Before the story unfolds, if you believe in kindness, second chances, and the strength hidden in broken people, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. It helps this channel reach more hearts like yours. No one knew exactly why he came or what drew him to the savage machine. Some whispered he used to ride with one of the toughest motorcycle brotherhoods before his accident. Some said he had lost everything: his mobility, his crew, and the life that once fueled his fire. Others claimed he simply wanted to feel alive again, even if it meant facing death. Whatever truth lived inside him, he never spoke it. He only moved forward with calm eyes and a presence so steady it cut through the chaos like a knife through smoke. The bikers stood with folded arms and skeptical frowns as he approached the bike. They had seen monsters in human form, but this man, he carried a different kind of intensity. He didn't glare, roar, or flex for the crowd. He just looked at the machine the way a soldier looks at an old battlefield, with respect, grief, and memory. The bike sat there, chained to an anchor, its engine rattling with a restless growl as if refusing to be controlled. It had thrown some of the strongest riders into the dirt. It had torn through sand like a bull in a cage. But the man in the wheelchair didn't flinch. He simply rested his hand on the cool metal tank, letting the vibrations run through him like a heartbeat he once knew well. For a moment, no one spoke. No one breathed. The dust settled around them as if the desert itself paused to witness something sacred. He closed his eyes, feeling the machine the way some men listen to troubled souls. Not with force, but with understanding. Somewhere deep inside, he remembered the rhythm of engines, the scent of asphalt burning under summer heat, the roar of wind that once embraced him like freedom. He remembered how it felt to lean into a curve with absolute trust, and he remembered the day the world went silent, when an explosion tore away his legs, his brothers, and the life he once rode like a storm. Maybe this bike wasn't savage. Maybe it was just misunderstood, like him. When he finally opened his eyes, something subtle shifted. The machine's growl softened, not tamed yet, but listening. As he gripped the handlebars, the bikers exchanged uneasy glances. Many had tried aggression. None had tried gentleness. The moment he signaled for the chains to be released, murmurs rippled through the crowd. They thought he was insane. They thought he was suicidal. But they lifted the locks anyway, stepping back quickly as if the bike were a wild animal preparing to lunge. And then the engine roared, a sound so fierce it rattled bones. Dust exploded beneath the tires, rising in thick clouds. The front wheel kicked, twisted, and screamed against control. The man held tight, his arms steady, his gaze unwavering. He knew he wasn't competing with the bike. He was meeting it halfway, telling it not with words but with presence, "You are strong, but so am I." For the first few seconds, the battle looked impossible. The bike jerked violently, its frame thrashing like a beast refusing a rider. The crowd leaned forward, ready to witness another defeat. But the man's calm refused to crack. He leaned his weight exactly where the machine needed balance, letting its power surge through him instead of against him. Slowly, impossibly, the bike's resistance softened. Seconds stretched into a full minute, then a second, then a third. What no able-bodied rider could do, the man with no legs accomplished with patience, memory, and heart. Dust rose around him like a crown as he guided the roaring machine into a smooth, stable spin, its wheels kicking sand in a perfect arc. The bikers watched with widening eyes as the impossible unfolded. The savage bike obeyed him. It responded to his touch, his steadiness, his unspoken connection to the road and its wild freedom. For the first time since it was built, The beast allowed itself to be ridden by a man the world believed was broken beyond repair. When he finally cut the engine, an eerie silence filled the yard. Not one man spoke, not one man smirked. Instead, they stared at him with awe, not pity, not disbelief, but respect. Real respect, the kind earned only through courage that doesn't need applause. The man looked at his hands, still gripping the handlebars, and for the first time in years he allowed himself a small, quiet smile. Not of victory, but of healing. In that moment he realized he didn't need legs to stand tall. He didn't need the past to define him. All he needed was the reminder that strength often hides in the ruins of what once broke us. The desert wind brushed past him, lifting dust and sunlight around his shoulders like a blessing. The biker stepped forward slowly, offering nods, claps, and unspoken acceptance. The man didn't ask for praise. He didn't need it. What he was given instead was something far greater: belonging, dignity, and a place among men who understood what it meant to fight battles no one else could see. If this story touched your heart, please like, share, comment, and subscribe. Your support helps these stories reach those who need them most. Before the final line, here is a special request. Tell us in the comments what part of the story moved you the most. In the fading sunlight, the man gently patted the bike's tank, whispering a gratitude only he and the machine could understand. For some, victory is loud. But for him, it was the quiet return of something he thought he'd lost forever: his spirit. And that day, in a dusty yard surrounded by roaring engines and scarred souls, a broken veteran tamed a savage motorcycle and began to tame the pain inside himself.